very warm welcome to IDFC First Bank Presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 13. I'm Ritvika Gupta, and today we are focusing on India's construction sector and India's lighting industry. We'll be kickstarting the show talking about how India is entering a pivotal phase in construction. As the scale and complexity of projects increase, the construction industry is being challenged to rethink execution. To understand what this next phase demands, I'll be in conversation tonight with Jairam Panch, Chief Operating Officer, Turner International. In the second segment, we feature Sunil Rathi, founder and CEO, Halomax Lighting Solutions. Jairam, welcome to ET Now Leaders of Tomorrow. It's a pleasure to be chatting with you today.
Thank you so much for having me here.
So, I want to start with the big picture, Jairam. India's construction, sector is driven by, big bets on energy, the industrial corridors, highways. I want to know from you, what is that? How should Indian developers who are in the construction business, what should they start preparing for right now?
So the Indian construction industry is actually booming over the last 5 years. The expectation is it will reach about $1 trillion by 2030. Mm-hmm. And not many of us know it contributes to approximately 13% of the GDP.
Right.
And year on year, we see a lot of private sector investment happening, so growing more than 30%. As far as the developers are concerned, I think there's a lot of changes that have kind of happened in the industry over the last 5 years. Mumbai opening up.
Yeah.
Mumbai opens up, rest of India opens up.
Right.
There's a huge volume of construction that's happening right now. Mm-hmm. The pace at which it's happening, I think one of the big, the challenges that the industry has is the pace is not keeping up with the amount of projects that's coming on the pipeline.
Right.
So that's the reality actually. And in order to keep up with the pace, and I think there's a lot that the developers need to start thinking about standardization. How can we standardize a design? Mm-hmm. I would say that when we take care of the pre-construction, the construction becomes probably 70 to 80% simpler.
Right.
And developers also need to start looking at off-site construction. And that will definitely address, all these things will address the labor shortage, productivity, and speed to market.
Sure.
And I think if developers are able to achieve the speed to market, they are in a good shape.
Tell me, when you benchmark Indian construction companies against, its global counterparts, global players, where do you see the most critical gaps today?
Process and efficiency. If you look at construction companies, we all know how to run the business, but we all need to be more efficient.
Right.
Be it time, in terms of delivery, be it in terms of quick decision making, be it the client, be it the contractors, be it the stakeholders overall. Most of the construction projects live in an uncertainty from time perspective and therefore from a cost perspective.
Sure.
But if you're able to kind of balance these with better process efficiency and timely taking decisions and things like that, we'll be able to, I think we have a much more cohesive ecosystem that really supports the industry.
So can technology play a part in tackling this efficiency, which you spoke about? And if so, which specific technologies can really, help, just by way of the workflow, the process, probably handling even risk and safety and cost, what's your take on that?
Absolutely. Construction industry was not exposed to technology a lot, but it's no longer is, by the way, it's mandatory. Right. You need to invest on technology. For example, building information modeling. We call it BIM. A lot of architects, consultants use it. The second thing that is gaining a lot of popularity, especially with the CEOs and the CXOs, are excellent reporting. So we have dashboards, we have Power BIs. Mm-hmm. We use all the software and then integrate, and then we present it in a nice graphical form. Mm-hmm. This is happening industry-wide. Drone photography, and AI. It's another thing that's catching up right from the design stage through the construction and all the way into the asset management, something called as digital twins.
Right.
Digital twins is something gaining popularity in many sectors. Construction is one of them.
Sure.
Automobile is one of them. I think many sectors. What it does is it's a virtual replica of a building that's constructed with a lot of smart gadgets that are there. It helps in evaluating the life cost analysis and building life cycle and things like that.
Okay.
So those things are a big, I would say, a good advantage.
Right. Now, Turner has delivered some of the world's iconic landmarks, from the Burj Khalifa to Statue of Unity. Tell me, as Indian construction players, take on more complex and larger projects, what key lessons can they take away from Turner's journey?
Operating in India for the last 18 years, Turner, we have made a significant impact in the construction industry. You brought up the Statue of Unity and Burj Khalifa. I was involved on both the projects. So, Statue of Unity, I carry a lot of fond memories for simple reason that we had a date when it had to be delivered, and a lot of work had to be done. So, we really accomplished it by bringing some innovative practices such as lean construction practices, last planner system, things like that. What this means is it's more a micro level management of the progress of works, translating it and connecting with the workmen and the foremen. So, and some of the things that I earlier mentioned about how do you use technology to support, and construction is a journey. It's a slow process. It's not something that you touch an app and you see your progress tomorrow morning. Construction takes time. But once you live through that, and then you're able to relive that and see all these things we have done. We do all these best practices and lessons learned. Lessons we learned on Statue of Unity. We went on to implement on Merdeka, which is the second tallest tower in Malaysia and Kuala Lumpur, which we recently delivered, and so on and so forth. So, and I think if you are have a systematic process in terms of how you're trying to bring it, I think it makes sense. And what it kind of brings is the efficient project management. The project managers play a very important role in delivery of these buildings.
Sure.
Be it infrastructure development, be it any construction projects.
Tell me, which sectors do you see having the maximum potential for growth and really impacting India's construction sector?
In terms of market segments?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of growth and development happening on the residential sector right now. And that's partly outcome of how the market opens out. In Mumbai, it's more redevelopment. In other cities, it's also a factor of how the job opportunities are in each of these cities. I will not ignore the commercial sector because even though the uptick on the office space kind of reduced after COVID, it's slowly catching up. The third sector that's kind of going up is the hospitality. You look at the hotels as be it the 3-star, the 4-star, and the 5-star.
Yeah.
Aviation has been silent for a long period of time. Aviation has grown. Talking about 163 airports now.
Right.
Another 2 sectors that I would like to really stress upon is the data centers and the semiconductor. Data center is growing in India. It's probably just about 3% of the total global space that we are in, but we have about 150 data centers already.
Yeah.
Semiconductor is a big push given by the government of India under the Indian Semiconductor Initiative. There are about, I think, 10 plants that are identified, and the centers are primarily in Dholera and Sanand.
Right.
That's where most of them are. But you have big names already there entering that market space. That's going to be a game changer.
Fantastic. I can't help but ask you about Budget 2026, which is just around the corner. Now, last year's budget, it did implement important reforms for the construction sector. I think it allocated about 11 crore rupees for large-scale infrastructure projects. What are your expectations from the Union Budget 2026?
It will be an extension of the last year. That's what I feel. There's a lot of benefits given to the construction industry. Even though I would suggest if there are any tax benefits that are available, both for the contractors as well as for the consultants, it would help a lot in the long run. A lot of MSMEs, we all work on the cash flow. And in order to be stronger on the cash flow, which will help us, run the business more efficiently and cater to the larger market, I think such small initiatives will really help. But government must continue to keep up the push and the investment on infrastructure. I would definitely give a lot of focus on, while we are doing all this, don't forget the environment.
Right.
We need to protect the environment that we are in. And construction is quite notorious for generating a lot of dust and being less sustainable and things like that. So there should be a lot of efforts going towards that.
All right. Jairam, as we are wrapping up this conversation, so India has scale, demand, ambition. But tell me, what is that one factor that will really determine, India's leadership in construction on the global stage?
India has to get organized. I would say only that. There's no dearth of money. There's no dearth of talent. Get better on our red tapeism. If we are talking about a single window clearance and it's predictable, I take 90 days for a clearance.
Right.
Makes life more simple for the developers. Get abreast with the technology. Ensure that we are getting very structured and organized. Use a specialist consultant like a project manager who can really bring a lot of stakeholders together and really improve the scale of the projects. And most importantly, somehow address the shortage of labor, which we face in our industry, which is a genuine problem. Let's not forget the sustainability part. We need to leave the planet much more cleaner than what we inherited. We've come a long way, but there's still more to do so that this industry gets more respected among other industries.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for your time, Jairam. This was a lovely conversation.
Thank you so much.
It's time for a quick break here. We'll be back shortly. Stay tuned. Welcome back to IDFC First Bank presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 13. Now, India's lighting industry is undergoing a quiet but powerful transformation. Beyond illumination, the industry is set to become a critical part of India's sustainability and smart infrastructure story. Hrishita Kumar tells us more in this conversation with Sunil Rathi, founder and CEO, Halomax Lighting Solutions.
Hello Sunil, thank you so much for joining us on Leaders of Tomorrow.
Thank you, Hrishita.
Now, India's lighting market is a fairly large one. Evidently so, as it is now valued over $4 billion in the year 2025. Now, having been in this space for more than 2 decades now, what are some of the key developments you've witnessed in this industry?
Key developments I have witnessed over the last 2 decades are a lot, Hrishita. I would like to cover few of them. First, which is very close to me, which I really love, is that lighting over the last couple of years and maybe even more has started getting more acceptance in the architectural space. I mean, there was a time when lighting was just about, having enough light in any space. But now the overall aesthetic beauty, functionality, lighting has become very important. So it is no more just about adding some lights. Second, as we all know, till few years back, we had these incandescent lamps, tube lights. The biggest transformation happened in the lighting industry when LED came into the market. Another thing which I think has come up in the market more recently is the digitalization of lighting and its controls. So it is no more about just having a light fixture in any place, be it a home, be it a hotel, be it a factory, be it an office. It is about all the lights are digitalized, controlled among each other. So depending on how much light you want at a particular point, how much, when should the light go on, when should the light go off, everything is controlled. Everything is controlled. This is like a big thing which I've seen coming up.
Now, the industry is also growing at a CAGR of more than 9%. What, according to you, are some of the key drivers facilitating this growth?
Rishita, one of the key driver obviously is the infrastructure growth. We all know India is at a fairly naive level of infrastructure right now. We are still growing. I would also say that one more thing, which is happening, and it's not only benefiting the lighting industry, but is also benefiting a lot of other industry, is the decentralization of the power cities. So earlier it was like Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai and Bangalore being as the main power centers of the country. Now it is no more like that. Now when Alwar is coming up pretty big, Ajmer is coming up pretty big, Ranchi is coming up pretty big. All the what we used to call earlier as the tier 2 towns are also coming up with huge large offices. Multinational companies are going there, and India, by the way, has a lot of scope for these kind of tier 2 cities to grow in times to come, in helping the CAGR growing at the 9%, what you're saying.
Well, now you mentioned quite a few trends, Sunil, but a significant trend that we are witnessing is the rise of consumer preference towards eco-friendly lighting, whether it is in the form of LED lights or solar-powered solutions. How is Halomax responding to this demand?
So this is absolutely important for any company. It is important to focus on these points. Rishita, at Halomax, what we do is couple of things very important. First, we focus on high efficiency LED lights. We always focus on, because we understand the consumer today wants less power consumption, more light output. More light output, and hence eventually a lesser electricity consumption bill. Second thing, I would say that apart from this, another very important thing is smart controls. We also save a lot of energy by making sure that the current and the voltage and the drivers are going in the perfectly balanced condition, so that one, the energy is saved. Secondly, smart controls also help us reduce the lighting whenever we don't need it. All the street lights today all over the country are going with smart controls. So they dim the light as per the requirement. They brighten the light when it gets dark. And lastly, solar is playing a very important role now, and solar powered lights are the future. You can't have any lighting installation without a solar powered system. So yes, solar powering is very important now, and we are using a lot of solar powered lights.
Tell us about the advent of AI and IoT solutions in the industry, Sunil. What has been its impact in driving innovation and cost efficiency?
Artificial intelligence today decides on its own, depending on the occupancy pattern, depending on the workflow inside an office, depending on the movement of people inside a building, about what kind of lighting, how should the lighting be, at what time lighting is required, at what time too much lighting is not required. All those things the artificial intelligence can take the decisions on. Also, the in thing these days is, with the help of artificial intelligence, that in case there is enough sunlight outside which is traveling through the glass windows into the office, automatically it reduces the lighting output of the artificial lighting fixtures, inside the building. And not only this, another very important thing is the human-centric lighting behavior. Now, what is human-centric is, which is again, thanks to artificial intelligence, depending on what is the color of the light outside in natural air, it also changes the color of the light inside the house or inside the hotel or inside the hospital, wherever you are, so that your body gets the right kind of color temperature as and when it is required. That is, I think, one of the most important thing that the AI is doing these days.
Well, as a leading company in this space, how do you balance design, technology, and sustainability in your products?
At Halomax, we are majorly focusing and doing projects like hotels and retail stores and a lot of homes and a lot of residences we are doing. So for us, design would be the topmost thing. Now, when I say design of a light fixture, it is not just about how it looks. It is also about how it blends with that interior space, or how it blends with the space. So we make sure that the light fixtures are small, minimal in size, and the source of the light should be as much hidden as possible so that it does not create any sort of glare. Also, it is important to use materials which are eco-friendly. So materials which are eco-friendly and materials which are sustainable. We use, like for example, in table lamps, we use a lot of wood based in the floor lamps, a lot of wood in different shapes we make. Secondly, in design aspect, an important point is about the color of the fixture that we use. So we use different colors, different finishes, and most of the time we customize these colors and finishes to blend with the building. Especially if you see the facade lighting of any building, the lighting has to blend with it. It cannot stand out. The light fixture cannot stand out. Again, in technology, we make sure that we use the LEDs which have long life, which have a high light output. We use drivers which have long life, which control the energy consumption, which reduces the energy consumption by making sure the right kind of current and the voltage are supplied to the LED fixtures. And again, for technology, I would say that smart controls are very important. They are the thing to go. Already, I would say that in hotels and in residential applications, it has already taken over the space, but in times to come, it will take more space. We use a lot of lenses in our fixtures so that we can control the exact throw. Where you need the light, it should be right there. It should not be like flooding all over the place. So that's how it looks very nice. So these are few things on the design technology which we use, which we focus on while we are designing any fixture at Halomax.
Sunil, you also handle the operations of 3 distinct brands. How do you adjust your approach for each one while keeping everything efficient?
I'll tell you, although there are 3 different brands, and I don't know, we might have a couple of more in years to come. But broadly, you will see that the ideology of all the brands is exactly the same. The ideology is giving you those energy efficient light, giving you long life. These things are not compromised at all in any of the brands. When we talk about outdoor lighting, for example, when we talk about landscape lighting, which we again is a major part of our business, we make sure that the glare, because at the night, glare control is becomes all the more important. So at the night, we make sure that all our landscape lighting do have some sort of glare control phenomena in them. Either we use honeycomb in front of them, or we use some barn doors in front of them, some snoops in front of them, so that they are all controlled. So typically, yes, there are 3 different brands, but you'll see that the ideology is all same.
Now, finally, what trends do you see coming in the lighting industry, and how does Halomax plan to stay ahead?
Okay, so again, like I said, one of the future trend is going to be designing lights into any imaginable shape that a designer wants to design a light. Now, in the upcoming times, I think more such shapes and different shapes would be there, and we at Halomax are focusing a lot on such newer shapes and newer models. That's one thing. Second, again, smart lighting and connected lighting is very important. Today, lighting is connected with your music system inside the home. Today, lighting is connected with your curtains inside the home. So these more of such systems would come in place. Also, I think something about the human-centric lighting and the wellness lighting, which we have just started touching upon. In times to come, this will catch up big time.
Perfect. Thank you so much for sharing your insights, Sunil. This was truly an enriching conversation. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of IDFC First Bank Presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 13. We hope you enjoyed the episode. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.